From this point on, we're going to apply everything you learned to develop and improve a real AI feature. You can use your own prompt if you prefer, or you can use the starter prompt we've created for this task. What's important is that you have a concrete feature to iterate on using the reliability loop. Let's briefly explain what the prompt does that we'll use throughout the course. This feature is a customer support chatbot for a festival management app called Wristband. It reads incoming messages, it classifies the request, retrieves information, and then responds using the company's real policies. Let's start with a system message. You're a customer support agent for a festival management app Wristband. Your job is to read customer support messages, classify the request, and respond. Read the following customer email and do the following. Classify the request into one of these categories: ticketing, billing issue, refund request, technical issue, access issue, on-site experience feedback, general question, or other. Then you should use the Latitude extract tool to consult policies on our website. And then we've included the URL for our website here. And then finally, it has to respond to the user message. And we give it the ID and the message of the user. We created a Notion document with Wristband support policies, and the prompt uses a tool called Latitude extract to read that page whenever it needs guidance. This makes the example very realistic. The benefit of this is that we're going to give the agent context for our real policies, so it's not just making up any answers. Now let's talk about if you want to use your own prompt. If you prefer to bring your own feature, go for it. The workflow is exactly the same. Just make sure your feature has clear inputs, a clear expected output, and if you have tools, that's even better. All right, so now that we have a working feature, let's start running it and see how it behaves. So in the last track, you learned the basics of building prompts. Now we're going to learn how to improve them. To do this, we're going to turn to the reliability loop and begin with the first step, which is observing how the AI responds. To do this, we rely on logs. In this model, we're learning to generate logs through manual exploration in our playground. So before we start doing that, I want to explain a little bit about why manual exploration matters. Manual testing, besides being the easiest way to test your prompt, it allows you to understand variability. You can test specific edge cases that you can imagine yourself, and also you can just kind of get a better idea of how your prompt actually works. Beyond just understanding the physical structure of your prompt, it's important to understand how it behaves, because it doesn't always correlate. The structure doesn't always correlate to how it behaves. The more familiar you are with its outputs, the easier it will be to identify issues and make corrections to those issues. As we just introduced to you, here we have the prompt. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do a few examples, and we're going to see how the output changes when we use the same input. Alrighty, so going through the prompt again, we can see it all here. The two things that we're going to have to provide are username and customer query. All right, what we'll do here is we'll go to preview, and then we'll input a username, and we'll put in a customer query. Now what we're going to do is run the prompt once, twice, and a third time, and we're going to see how the output changes. Let's run the first time. All right, so after the first run, we have an access issue, entry, pass, and age verification, and then we have response. Hello, if you lost your wristband, you will need to visit the on-site support for the festival for assistance with a replacement. Okay, so let's keep that in mind, and now let's run it a second time. Hit new chat, and then run again. So here we have our second response. We have pretty much the same classification, and then we have the response message, which is here, quite similar to the first one. All right, let's run it again. So while we're running it, we can actually notice some of the things that are happening here. For example, here we have two tool calls. Maybe that's something we need to address in the future. We'll get back to that. So now we've ran it for a third time, and here we have some differences. First, we have the request classification. This before was just classification, so now we have a change of the key. This could be problematic for any interaction with our backend. For the response section, we have about the same information. The information is to contact on-site support. However, here the style is a bit more direct, and the message is a bit shorter. So now go ahead and put in your own inputs and change it around a bit and get a feel for how the prompt works. In the next video, we're going to go over to the traces section, and we're going to learn a bit about observability.